Okay, welcome back. This is Mark Stump, October 2013. I'm still on the basics, those things that you, by basics I mean those things that you might find in your owner's manual, that you ought to find in your owner's manual. And I want to do a super quick video on bracketing. Now, speaking of owner's manual, my owner's manual says I can bracket for exposure with or without changing the flash power. I can bracket for what Nikon calls ADL. I can bracket for white balance. What I like to do is just bracket for exposure. So my next video will be sort of a wrap up of all the basics that I've covered, all those things in your owner's manual. And I'll wrap them up and talk about what went into a single photo. For right now, I just want to tell you that in one particular case, I was bracketing for exposure in aperture priority. So with my camera, if I'm in aperture priority, the camera will automatically change the shutter speed in order to give me these different exposures. If I'm in shutter priority, the camera would keep the shutter speed constant and it would automatically change the aperture in order to give me different exposures. If I were in adjustable program mode, it would vary both. And if I were in manual mode, it would either vary both or just vary the shutter speed depending on how I have a particular menu item set, I believe. So this time I was in aperture priority. I had my camera set, or my lens, pardon me. I had my lens at f11 and the camera I push the button, it takes 4 shots per second. So I push the button, it takes one shot at 400th of a second, one shot at 200th of a second, one shot with a shutter speed of 1/100th of a second, one shot with a shutter speed of 50th of a second, and it actually took a 5th shot at 1/25th of a second. I ended up throwing that one away just because it was so darn bright. I didn't have motion blur, which impressed me, but it was just so bright I threw it out. So I still had 4 different exposures, and I was happy with that result of bracketing. So anyway, that's it. That's what bracketing can do for you. Oh, you might also choose to use bracketing quickly. You might also choose to use bracketing because you're not sure which of these you'll like. Maybe you're taking a picture of the sunset and you're not really sure which exposure would look best. You can just pop off 4 or 5 quick pictures, and then you've got, you can decide it at any time in the future. You might decide you like this one when you get home, and then 2 weeks later you can decide, no, this one's better, or vice versa. Or a month later you dig this one out of your hard drive and decide to look at that, print that, whatever. So anyway, that's bracketing. Thank you very much.